Now give me a job that I can deliver. Give me a dream I won't need to forget. And I'll stay. Yes, I'll stay.
The prelude is that this is the sweetest way to show what the federal budget looks like and how we can fix most of Iowa's problems with a few cookies. My name is Aaron. I'm with a nonprofit, nonpartisan campaign called Show Me the Money, which was brought to you by your friends at True Majority. We have 500,000 members online. We were started by Ben of Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream, and there are 6,000 True Majority members right here in Iowa, and I have to tell you something, that we're here for the long run. We were started by business leaders who said it didn't make any sense that the richest country on earth had the highest rate of poverty in the industrialized world. So what they did was take a look at the federal budget pie to see how that was cut up. And I'll bet you can guess this. I've got a copy of it right here. I'm going to show you. Oh, I'm supposed to make this look really heavy because it's really big. This is a copy of the federal discretionary budget. It's the amount of money Congress has every year to spend as it sees fit. Can you see this? And as you can see, the Pentagon gets almost half, with everything else getting these little slices. Now, we show this budget pie to a cross-section of Americans, Democrats and Republicans alike, both across the country and here in Iowa, and what they told us was, that's not the way we want our federal tax dollars spent. One of the members of our organization, Ben Cohen of Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream, he says when he has a problem that's difficult to deal with, he thinks about dessert. And he said the perfect dessert to think about the budget with is, yes, Oreo cookies. So he does this demonstration inside and uses actual Oreos, and it's been seen online on our website 1.5 million times. But out here we needed something a little bit bigger, so we decided to create these much bigger Oreos. These Oreos are so big, they're equivalent to $10 billion of federal spending each. And what I have here, oh, you're not supposed to see that, is a stack of 42 of them. That's $420 billion, and that's what we spend on, can you read that? Yes, Pentagon. Now, you should understand that does not include the $82 billion appropriated just this year for the occupation of Iraq, nor does it include tens of billions of dollars for Homeland Security. In comparison to this, let me show you what we spent on some other things. Federal contribution to K through 12 education, in contrast to the 42 Oreos we spent on the Pentagon, 3 Oreos. That's $30 billion. The amount of money we spend on world hunger, AIDS, and poverty, 1 Oreo, $10 billion. How about children's health care? This is the federal contribution, 4 Oreos, $40 billion. And how about the programs for energy independence that are designed to wean us off of our reliance on imported Middle Eastern oil? That would be 1/4 of an Oreo. You can see there's no filling in here, you know, it's just the top. And job training benefits for Americans across the country, 1 Oreo, $10 billion. And deficit reduction, how many Oreos do I have left here? Well, actually I have none. That would be a big zero. We don't spend any money on that. So, as I said, we showed this information to a cross-section of Americans, Democrats, Republicans across the political spectrum, both across the country and here in Iowa, and they said, that's not the way we want our money spent. What they said was, take a little money from transportation, and on average, more than $125 billion from the Pentagon budget, and spend it on education, health care, energy efficiency, and paying down the national debt. And, you know, that's a lot of money, $125 billion. Now, we've got a board of military advisors, some very conservative guys, including Dr. Lawrence Korb, who was the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Ronald Reagan, of all people, and Admiral Stansfield Turner, who was Director of the CIA. And what these guys told us was, you can take $60 billion from the Pentagon, shift it to programs that the American people have told us over and over they want funded, without in any way jeopardizing America's safety and national interest, because that was money being spent for programs that were designed during the Cold War to fight the Soviet Union. And it's like somebody forgot to tell these guys the Soviet Union went out of business now 15 years ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb up on this giant pile of Pentagon Oreos, and I'm going to take down 6 of them. I'm going to show you exactly what we can buy with them, because that's really the important part of this demonstration. So here we go, climbing up Mount Oreo. You know, the air's a little thin up here because it's so tall. Can you see me over there?
Yeah.
Can you see me? I can't see you. Can I see you? Okay. All right. 6 Oreos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, they get sticky sometimes. Let's take one of these Oreos, 10 billion, and put it on education K through 12. Now this is where it gets interesting. One Oreo, $10 billion spent over 10 years, would rebuild and modernize every single public school in America. It's 1 out of the 42 Pentagon Oreos. Let's take another one, put it on world hunger. All right, you guys, relax. And we'll take another one. What we're going to do is split this one in half. Now, pay attention here. I'll bet you guys have done this with your own Oreos before. Who's done this? You split them apart? Cool. Okay. We'll take this one and put it on world hunger. That $15 billion would be sufficient to take care of every one of the 6 million children who are going to starve to death this year and next year and the year after around the world by providing their countries with assistance to grow more food. Now let's take another one here. We're going to put this on children's health care. You know, there are 9 million American children who don't have health care coverage, including 43,000 right here in Iowa. And that one cookie, that $10 billion, would be enough to provide health care benefits for every single one of them. And that's for baby over here. Let's take another one. And we're going to put it on energy independence. And I know that people are thinking about this nowadays when they go to the gas station. Now, this $10 billion over 10 years would fund programs in energy conservation and renewable energy sources, and thank you for that solar generator here, that would reduce America's use of oil by 50%. That's one Oreo, $10 billion. And let's take this Oreo here, this other half, and we're going to put it on job training. This will provide training benefits for 250,000 Americans every year who lose their jobs, including half of the people in Iowa who lose their jobs working for major corporations. And we've got one left here. And I think we're going to do something with this that we haven't done in about 5 years. Let's pay down the national debt. So, you know, you can see that I can take some Pentagon cookies over here and move them over here and do some pretty amazing things, but people are going to say, well, what does that prove? You know, you got some guy up on this red trailer in front of a bunch of kids eating all the Oreos, you know, and he's moving cookies around from one stack to another, giant Oreos, but, you know, what does that prove? I mean, we're taking money from the Pentagon, so isn't that going to make us vulnerable to our enemies? The reality is that the country that spends the most for their national defense, that's a potential adversary of the United States, would be Russia. And they spend 7 Oreos. You think they know something? And you know what? They're pretty much an ally of ours nowadays. The next highest expenditure is made by China, and China spends 5 Oreos. And if you've gone shopping lately, you know that they're a major trading partner. Is this thing working? Oh, go. Check, check, check. Now, what about those guys that we all worry about, what's left of the axis of evil, the so-called rogue states, Iran, Syria, Libya, North Korea, even Cuba, all together? Those guys spend 1 Oreo. So you can see that we can take a few Oreos off this stack, spend them in ways that the American people have told us over and over that they want spent, and still have plenty left to deal with these guys.
Singing my song and I hope you